and novelty songs. Spoofs, goofs, and novelty songs. Spoofs, goofs, and novelty songs. Spoofs, goofs, and novelty songs.
Hey, Marty, before we start recording, I meant to ask you, you were hovering over my bed last night. I woke up.
I was looking for a map to your parents' house.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Only just then I looked in the mirror this morning and there's these two marks in my neck, and I've just been feeling weird all day.
That's crazy. Man, that's nuts. You said you've been having some tiffs with your dog neighbor recently. You sure it wasn't from the dog biting you by any chance?
No, it wasn't from my dog neighbor.
Your dog neighbor.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know. It's weird. It's just
yeah. That's very interesting.
Hold on a second. I'm all of a sudden having this weird.
Come to me, Scott.
I love Man Bites Dog. Gentlemen, gentlemen.
Oh, no.
Let's do some improv.
How about Guillermo del Tocan?
Yeah.
Well,
how about Del Tocan del Toro?
Welcome to Spoof Scoops and Novelty Songs.
Talking Del Toro is definitely the best one. Talking Del
Toro is good. That's good.
Yeah, that's my new podcast. The podcast about dumb shit.
Thank you. And did the Doppel Marty did he flee?
I haven't decided yet. He might come back.
Okay, he might come back. Okay. This week, Spooftober continues as we reach our third spooky, scary spoof movie review as we review Cabin in the Woods.
Can we just point out that Marty's laughing at, Scott and I are not reacting. Scott's not on camera. I'm on camera. I'm sitting here borderline frowning.
Let him entertain himself over there.
It's insane to me how much you're getting a kick out of
The more he
this.
does shit like that, the less we got to deal with him.
Here's the thing. I've been locked alone in my house with only one person to talk to for 6 months. Let me enjoy this, Kelly.
Okay, have fun.
Hey, you might say you got cabin fever.
We're reviewing Cabin in the Woods, a 2011 horror spoof, specifically slasher horror films. Written and directed by Drew Goddard, co-written by Joss Whedon. This is a comedy about a group of teenagers who go to a cabin in the woods, but all may not be what it seems. Famously, this movie was shelved for a few years as there was a rights shifted between MGM and Lionsgate, as the film was originally produced in 2009 and wasn't released in theaters until 2012. It first appeared in a film festival in 2011, which is why it is called a 2011 picture. The film was positively reviewed and was a modest success. It was a big surprise because the rumors around this movie was that it wasn't very good, and that's why it wasn't getting distribution. My suspicion, because this happened to coincide with a certain actor in this movie being cast as a lead in a Marvel movie, my suspicion is that this movie kind of got the green light to get released due to the Chris Hemsworth casting choice. Kelly, you got to do more of the hand signals if you're going to do this. I saw this movie in theaters when it was released and fucking hated it because of how smug it is. Will my opinion be different this time? Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on Cabin in the Woods?
It's like planes, trains, and automobiles being with Marty today.
Being with Marty?
I feel like I'm stuck in a car with you and I just want to get out.
I'm just bringing the energy this week, guys. I'm just trying to have a good time. You know, people like me. My wife likes me.
This is, you sound
I'm
like
the real article.
We're tied up right
what
now.
You get.
We're tied up right now, like in a line on our knees, and you're like pacing across like the line, holding a big like Bowie knife. I'm just trying to have fun. I'm a nice guy. Anyways, I like this movie up until the third act. That's the hot take.
Okay. Kelly?
This movie, it needs to. It's good, but it reveals way too much.
Oh
Spoon
boy, does it!
feeds you. It's just like
Dude.
It's like, dang, this would have been so cool if you like left a little bit more to be desired.
Yes. To quote Scott Carey, the rules. Why are the rules so explained in this movie?
It's like if you watch horror movies, you kind of get it. You kind of just get it. Or if you don't watch horror movies, but you just like read the plots on Wikipedia and like know the sort of horror movie stereotypes, like, yeah, it would work. And then they just like keep going and being like, oh, did you catch this? Did you, hey, earlier,
Yes.
I don't know if you got this
Yes.
when we poured blood into a figurine that was like partying and drinking wine. I don't know if you understood what we were doing there. So like, let me just explain it to you for the next 10 minutes of the third act.
When they get to the Sigourney Weaver big speech at the end of the movie, they treat that like it's a big revelation speech, but she just rehashes information that's been driven home.
Just
at this
so we're
point.
clear, yeah, it's that she should have said in conclusion at the beginning of it.
Yes, this movie is a fucking essay of a movie.
I will say,
guys.
if you
this
haven't
movie.
seen this movie, if you know nothing about it, this is one of those ones where it's kind of like, it's better to go in not knowing what you're expecting, because that's what happened to me, and that's why I remember
same.
liking it, was because I really didn't know why everyone was raving about it, and it was a fun flick. It's like, oh, it's like a horror movie, but it's so meta. This is like, I think I remember like learning way too much about the word meta when this movie came out.
Yeah.
Well, you got to think like 2012. That's a great time for the word meta.
Oh man, meta peaked in 2012.
I think I knew just that it was a twist on a slash. Like, I knew it was like supposed to be kind of a parody thing when I first saw it. I definitely had no idea that it was about ritual sacrificing and hey, what the audience of horror movies, aren't they just like killing all these characters over and over again for no reason? Like, I think in general, this movie, my big gripes with it, number one, it explains too much. I actually really am confused why they reveal anything. I think I have a suspicion why they reveal
It should have
so
just
much.
been a black screen the whole time.
I think I'm not saying like I didn't want hints at the bigger picture, but I think the movie just like ruins its own kind of point and thesis by just like not. I think the movie needed to spend more time with our main characters up top and develop them as like interesting characters, because the movie also makes it very clear that the ritual people are subverting these characters' personalities to fit these certain archetypes. I would have wanted to see what their personalities actually are like a little bit, rather than just be told that they're not like this normally. There's just so much exposition in this movie, and I think I just would have liked more character time and less time with Bradley Whitford and Richard Jenkins doing office hijink jokes. All that stuff was so bad. I just hated all that stuff.
I'm okay with
like,
it. I don't think it's that bad personally. It's just it's like a breath of fresh air. Like, it keeps taking you in and out of like the horror movie atmosphere that it builds up. Sometimes the way it takes you out of it is a little like frustrating. Like the whole like camera, like, oh, they're all being monitored. It's like so on the nose, which like I kind of get why they were doing that. The part where I get really turned off is if you haven't seen the movie, you should go watch it. But basically what happens is you got there's two sort of plots happening at the same time. One, and they're intertwined, but they don't know it until the end, really. But basically a group of kids goes to a cabin in the woods, and they're just the classic like a lot of horror movie tropes on their way to the cabin. When they get to the cabin, and we find out that there's like basically a group of underground individuals that are behind these hijinks and behind the killings and forcing
these hijinks,
forcing them to like make choices to determine how they're going to be killed. And then like ultimately they are technically sacrifices for the gods or Satan.
They're doing like a Truman Show horror movie.
Right. But it's like streamlined, like they make it seem like it's been a ritual for a long time, but they built upon it, and now it's like modernized, and now there's the office hijinks that Marty was talking about, which I don't like. I'm not like totally for, but I'm also like, it's kind of fun. Like, at least they had fun with those moments. But what takes me out is when they basically the two, what were the actors' names again? The office characters?
Bradley Whitford and Richard
Yeah,
Jenkins.
Michael Scott and Dwight Schrute, they're like chilling and they're coordinating all of this in the background. And they, at one point, they were like upset that all of the group of people wanted to stick together because it's the smart thing to do. And he's like, don't worry, I'll take care of this. And he just like turns on like this gas that makes the like jock guy go.
It's splitting up gas.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like,
I know.
I don't know. That part is like where I get turned off like a bunch. I'm just like, I mean, you can't explain the rules to this mechanic. Like,
Yes. Right. You're going so out of your way to explain the rules to everything else that's happening. This is the one thing you're not going to. And also, why is that not played for a laugh there? I think this movie, tonally, it's just not funny enough. Like, it's, Shaun of the Dead is a great example of like a dark comedy where you can do a spoof and have the jokes be really funny, but also it doesn't lose the realism that is going on. And this movie is like not funny at all. It's like just legit, just not funny the whole time. Like, I don't think this movie.
It's because the cast is really unfunny.
yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's a pretty miscast. I honestly, I think
The stoner guy does like a B+ job at or any, especially because he has like the most to work with, and then literally everybody else is just like white bread, fucking bland.
Well, the stoner
nothing.
guy is also like just kind of off the charts, like off the walls. Like he's not very consistent, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like part of him is like conspiracy theorist and another part of him is like knows too much for his own good. And it just like kind of doesn't blend well to me. Like it's even like as a character trait, it's like not believable, which is like it's like I said, it's a fun movie, but it's not as relatable as like Shaun of the Dead was. I feel like Shaun of the Dead was way more relatable in the sense that the characters are way more down to earth, not exaggerations really as much of exaggerations, but yeah.
And like, I didn't mind them being exaggerations. It's just like they just didn't do enough funny stuff with that. And not that this needed to be like Abbott and Costello level of comedy, right? But
the peak of comedy, yeah.
The situation is funny though. Like it is like there's room for jokes here. They would be really dark jokes, but like what else are we doing here? I just don't get why we needed to be preached to for 2 hours about how bad horror movies, how much Joss Whedon hated the horror movies coming out at this time, which he is on record saying that's why they made this movie. So like, I don't know.
Yeah, anything that's made out of spite is automatically going to be great.
He's also not wrong. I feel like
no, I'm not saying he is. I think this movie. I also don't think this movie is a terrible idea. I think it's bad execution of it. Like I think the idea of doing the ritual sacrifice thing with the slasher movie twist, I think actually could have been a really good movie. I just think there's a couple really big missteps that make it like a grating movie to watch.
Like they might have had like a first draft. I'm not saying that first draft was good, but a first draft where they had like a big twist ending that ended with the Weaver speech, and it was good and like sort of revealing. And in this one, it was like, yeah, we fucking know, dude. Get off the screen. Like, I guess like at this, you're just kind of watching, I guess, to see what happens, but you already know how and why they're there, and it's
right.
Just.
And then what finally does end up happening is just like a big middle finger to the camera at the end.
Yeah.
Well, like, especially with the actual reveal of, like, the creature coming back to, like, the ancient one coming back to, like, the earth. And it's just, like, a big
It's
lava
such a, like,
hand.
literal, like, interpretation.
Yeah, and it's just, like
this
you
thing
could have
they've been
left
building up to.
so much of this up for interpretation, and then they just didn't. So...
Or end on a cliffhanger more, like, do we even know? Because that was what I kind of wanted was like, because the character's choice at the end of the movie is like, there's no stakes to it at all. The main girl not killing the stoner guy at the end of the movie, there's no weight to it because like she's obviously doing the wrong thing by not just immediately killing him. Because we're shown so thoroughly that this is a real situation and that there are real stakes and consequences to her actions. So there's no reason for her not to do the right thing in that sense, and she hesitates. It's just like dumb. It's like there should be some doubt as to whether what's going on is like actually going toward the thing it's headed towards. I don't know.
I just thought of a good ending for it. Here's a good alternative ending. It seems like she's gonna have to like kill the guy or whatever to like, you know, finish the sacrifice, and then right before she does, all of a sudden like the floor like stops rumbling, and then Sigourney Weaver like realizes that like the gods have been appeased, and then the camera like pulls out and you see like all the monsters like escaping from the fucking complex, and it's like the idea is like the gods are appeased because these like horrors are gonna go out and like now they're like real in the world and are gonna like spill the blood of everybody, not just these like teen sacrifices.
That's Scott. Not that we need to rewrite these bad movies every time we do them, but that nailed it. I think that's a great ending.
Can I tell you one more thing just while I got the mic here? I was going to tell you this off mic when I remembered it, but I figure, hey, now's as good a time as any since we're talking about Bradley Whitford. The other night I was falling asleep and then I just started laughing in bed because I couldn't stop thinking of Bradley Whitford saying "you to man." That's it. It just, I don't, not even like in anything. It just seems like in whatever role he's in, he's like 2 seconds away from saying that all the time.
And like the weird thing is like I think he's fine in this. I think like all of the stuff it's just like I don't know. It's just a disconnect for me, I guess. Yeah. But you said you liked the movie up to a point, Scott. So I'm curious, like,
oh, it's more just like, again, you kind of already said it. Like, I like it as a concept, and like, yeah, that's the thing. And I especially like the one part where it like did sort of give everything away, and I liked it was I just liked the scene where you like get to see all the monsters, because when I like saw the chart and of like all the possible monsters they could send at them, and like everybody's disappointed because like the more like interesting ones didn't get picked. The fact that you get like a little bit of payoff and like get to see them at the end, I enjoyed.
Right. Yes,
or like just like the implied, like when it did feel like it like wasn't like over explaining or like suggesting at like a larger world where there are all these like, oh, what would it look like, if the merman was the villain, what would that be like? Or like if it was this thing on the chart, what would that be like? And then so it's like, I don't know, I'm glad that you got to see a lot of the monsters, but I also wish, again, like it didn't feel like you got to see all of them, and now also everybody is dead and the world exploded, the end. Like what the fuck? Like, yeah,
the elevator sequence is the most fun moments in the movie. I think I did have my big gripe with that, actually. Why is this not like a Roger Rabbit type thing? Why are we not, why did they, I get why they couldn't have done this, but, I would have loved it if it was all actually the horror movie characters and not these like fake ripoff characters. Like,
probably couldn't afford
not that
it.
I
agree.
Those are all like spread out among so many different big parent companies.
For sure.
And part of it too is also they're like so tonally different that like, you know what I mean? Like if we saw like Jason and he's just standing, like obviously they had like the fake fucking Pinhead.
They had a fake Pinhead, a fake
guy.
Pennywise.
Yeah, but then if like also Freddy was there and it's just like, hey bitch, like that would like sort of, it's just like tonally like too off.
Yeah, I kind of feel that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because they even did like a mermaid, and the mermaid was like very dark and gritty and like fucked up.
Yeah, I think I've actually been convinced.
I think it's a fun
if
concept.
Chucky was in one of those things, yeah. It would be funny to see like a scene where like Chucky and Freddy are like yelling at like the guards of the complex. That would be a great scene.
I think that's like a wackier. I think you guys are right. I think that would be like for a more of a comedy, wacky movie, whereas this movie is definitely much more serious, which is so funny to think. And that's where I think they went wrong. I think this movie should be like wackier and campier.
I also think, but again, watching it the first time, and we should have put a disclaimer at the beginning of this episode, because I do actually think like watching this movie, like Kelly said, not knowing anything going into it, seeing it like unfold is, I think, like a fun experience.
I did the disclaimer. I probably say that more often than I should, where it's like, hey, if you haven't seen this movie, throw the podcast in the garbage.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're the
we
boy
already
who
put gasoline on it. But
you're the boy who cried spoiler a little bit.
No, but in this case, I do really think like, if you don't know anything about this movie, that's like the most fun way to watch. This is one of those movies where it's like, if you don't know anything about it, it's pretty fun to watch like first time through. You kind of think it's going to be like really typical. You think it's really bad at the beginning, and it's not great. And it's like I said, it's super spoon fed. The second time I watched this, like, holy, it's just like, dang, I remember it being a lot more creative than it actually is.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it doesn't hold up on rewatch. I don't think it's even though I hated it the first time, but
the reviews on Google are very polarized. It's a lot of 5s and a lot of 1s, and
that's
it's like
funny.
3.1 on the nose. And some of the reviews are just like, I don't think a lot of the 1s didn't get it. Like, I think they were expecting a shitty slasher.
How do you not get it?
That's what I'm saying. It's wild. This is
or maybe they get it, but it's just like they felt like ripped off. Like, this isn't what I signed up for.
I think is fair. I think that's a fair feeling.
Let me read a couple of my faves. Blaze Savage wrote, I hated this movie. It was sad. When the Kurt's girlfriend died, I was crying. This is literally the worst movie I've ever seen. Everybody died in there, and now I'm going to have bad thoughts because I'm afraid God might be mean to me and make my wife cheat on movie because of the movie I watched yesterday. This movie, I'm afraid that my wife will die. I give this a 0 out of 10 because everybody died and they were just teenagers. This movie was bad.
I mean,
three people found that helpful.
That person might have it. If that, jeez, I hope they don't see any other horror movie if they had this reaction.
Well, it's
I don't know. I don't want to know what their wife's gonna do if they see another horror movie.
You know what's another recent movie that I think has a similar, like, A, was really polarizing, B, you have to go in not knowing anything, is Mother. And I think Mother has a similar thing where I actually don't think the movie works, but I think it is, like, thrilling to watch because it's so fucking bananas the whole time. And then once you, like, get to the end of that, you're like, that wasn't really that satisfying because it's just, like, the Bible, but gory, basically.
Mother's not the one where they, like, adopt a girl and the girl ends up being, like, an old person?
You're thinking of Orphan. Yes.
Here's the last review. This one, also negative. Highly disappointing movie. Each and every scene was predictable, like other horror movies. Yeah, it was good movie to waste time, like we did here. The best part was that the acting was good. Weed rocks.
Oh, the big twist of this movie is that the weed guy character has a specific strain that is blocking pheromones.
That's so dumb.
That is the worst.
Just let him succeed.
It leads to nothing. It also leads to nothing.
It just complicates it, because I didn't catch that the first time I watched, and I didn't care. And then they, like, explained it the second time I watched, and I'm like, why is, like...
It has nothing to do with anything. It doesn't even have to do with why he gets away.
I can assume that the weed guy was, like, he just smoked a lot or something.
Right.
Like,
or, like,
weird.
He gets away from the bad guy off screen anyway. What the fuck are we doing explaining that because he was, like, slightly high from this, like, special... It's so
classic
dumb.
Horror movie is someone that you think is dead gets away somehow, and then it's not explained. That's fine. That's fine to do that.
Yeah. No, I didn't understand that why that was in the movie and why it had to be driven home so many times. Like, they literally keep bringing it up. Like, everything in this movie is mentioned, rule of threes. This movie is a classic Abbott and Costello. It's a rule of sixes. They just keep bringing everything back up.
And they also were talking, like, they do the other countries thing. And that's something that, like, they don't have to explain it, but it's like, that's something that I kind of want you to explain why you're doing one for each country. Like,
the Japanese one, I legit would have rather watched that movie.
Yeah, me too. I love watching Japanese horror. It's frightening.
I actually didn't. Well, no, I didn't understand how the Japanese one was gonna work because they didn't kill anybody in the Japanese one, and they were just like in that classroom the whole time. Like,
they just commit a seance.
If the ghost couldn't kill people when they're all locked in just like the same like single classroom with it, I don't know what the hell it's expecting to do.
That's what I'm saying. I think I was like, what was supposed to happen there? I actually just don't understand.
This movie makes no sense
as a movie.
This movie very bad. Make me scared. My wife cheat on me. Make me scared. My wife die.
My wife cheat on movie.
That's my review. I gave the movie a 3 out of 10. This movie does make me mad, but I appreciate that it's trying something new with a genre, and it's a pretty unique kind of movie, and it is a really specific, this is like kind of the only movie I can think of that's like this. But I do find the movie really arrogant and painful to watch because it's very preachy, I think. 3 out of 10 is a spoof as well. I don't think it really spoofs the genre well. It's kind of just a horror movie with characters constantly saying, "Don't you think what's going on here is wrong?" Yeah, the premise just isn't good enough here. Like, I think, to compare to Shaun of the Dead works because the premise is such a good idea that it doesn't need to be more of a spoof than that. This movie, it's just like reading an essay titled Slasher Movie Tropes, where it just completes, but it just does those things without any, like, real criticism beyond just, like, movie bad, movies are bad, you should hate movies. It's like, I just think it's a little lazy, in my opinion.
I give it an 8 out of 10 as a spoof. I'm going to start with my spoof. I think it's got a lot going for it as far as making fun of horror movies. Yeah, the cliches. It's like, but that's the thing about horror movies is like sometimes you watch them because you want to see repeated cliches. Like sometimes you're just looking for that stuff. It's like an homage to that, to the fans. It's for the fans. And this one, it gets a 6 out of 10 as a movie. I think there's a lot worse movies out there. I think it leaves a lot to be desired. For sure. I think it is very much a spoon-feeding you movie. And for me, that was fine the first time I watched it. The second time I watched it, it was very obnoxious. I like knowing exactly what's going on a watch-through of this is unbelievably frustrating. It's like you feel like I felt like I was watching it in a booster seat. Like it was very... Yeah. It's an interesting viewing experience, but not preferable.
I do agree with that. It is like weird to watch the movie knowing, like, because of how twisty it is.
Yeah.
3.1 out of 10 as a movie. 3.1 out of 10 as a spoof.
Is that because of Google? Google is 3.1 out of 5.
I won't.
No,
I would rather not.
Slightly higher than mine.
Okay, fine.
Oh, I miss Marty. I wish Marty was back.
I don't.
Hold on.
Scott, show me.
Give me I'm looking out the window right now, and this cloud is parting in front of the full moon.
This movie was, they explained too much, and I didn't really like it. It was arrogant. I thought I was being talked down to by this film.
What's your rating?
3 out of 10 is a spoon. And hold on, let me extend my pointer finger up towards the sky. 3 out of 10.
That was worth coming back to that. Hey, Kelly.
Yeah.
Do you have a novelty song for us this week?
Boy, do I. Boys, it is our 57th episode. It is the middle of the 57th episode, and as is podcast tradition, we shall be doing the 57th inning stretch and listening to a very American classic, Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Oh, God.
My favorite novelty song.
Are you going to send us the link?
I mean...
I've never heard this.
Hold on, let me press play on the YouTube video. Click.
Okay, good.
You sent us the tuba version.
Holy shit, like all the versions have like 80s karaoke text.
It's a bassoon now.
They're all like
timpani at the end.
Chimes.
Think about
Do people actually sing this at baseball games?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my god, what a bunch of little...
I don't remember.
Dude, I only need like 2 drops of
babies.
PBR in my
Oh my
system
god.
to make me sing.
Oh, no, wait. Yeah, no, they definitely do this at, like, Brewers games.
Everybody should put their thumb in their mouth.
It's like tradition at every baseball game between the in the middle of the 7th inning of the 57th episode of your podcast.
I think it's weird that they're singing a song where they're demanding to be taken to a place they're literally at.
You can't go any further. You're already there.
Yeah. It's a great tradition. Fuck you guys if you don't enjoy it. It's just for fun.
And it's so Who is it singing to that they're just like, hey, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks?
Take me out to the ball game.
A please
This is
wouldn't
making me-
fucking kill ya.
Curious about the actual history behind it. It's available on Deezer, everyone's favorite streaming service. It's a 1908 Tin Pan Alley song by Jack Norworth and Albert von Tilzer, which has become the official anthem of the North American Baseball League Association. Neither of the authors had attended a game prior to writing the song.
Wow. Wow.
They're just imagining what it
really
would
funny.
be like.
Oh, I bet they got peanuts.
The second
Hold on,
verse
hold on,
is
hold on.
like, I
Crackajack.
live inside a trash can. I am writing a song. If I get enough money, I'll actually go to a game. Until then, I eat banana peels for dinner.
I live in the shadow of a stadium where baseball is played.
And it's 1, 2, 3 peanut shells I lick for dinner at the outside of the old ball game.
Speaking of Vampcast, how about that Dracula in Abbott and Costello last week?
Oh my god. He sure was scary.
Mm-hmm. Dracula, I drink blood.
Hey, that was pretty good. That was like the best impression I've seen you do. No shit.
Oh wow.
I'm
Well,
what?
you know, I'll
What?
I'll take
Why
it.
are you being offended?
Well, let me do my Columbo. I forgot my pen.
I thought you were doing oh shit. I thought that was like Johnny Carson.
Always. No, Johnny Weird Wild Stuff.
That's pretty good.
Where,
Okay, do Reagan. I was kind of Reagan-y too.
Well.
Oh, that's oh my god. Wow.
Not
It's
bad.
just Kermit. Okay,
I'm just doing-
now that you're on a hot streak, do Kermit.
Okay, Kermit. Oh, Miss Piggy.
Oh,
It's
no.
me, Kermit.
No,
the
stop.
Frog.
He'll never have it. It's not in the repertoire.
It really
It's
isn't.
not. It's really
But talk
not
show
in the
hosts and
wheelhouse.
presidents, you got
I
it.
can do those. Yeah, Michelle.
Yeah. Oh my! Wow, that was spot on.
Wow.
1%. 1%.
Oh, don't rub it in. I said presidents.
Should be presidents. Should be presidents. Here, I'll do a John Kerry to even things out a little bit.
Yeah.
I am a normal man.
Now do Howard Dean.
Yeah. It's fucking so hacky of me. But wait, Kelly's got a little.
He legit.
Yeah,
He didn't.
been
he didn't
waiting. It's
Oh
been
my
up.
God.
I wasn't sure you were ready or not.
Thank you for opening for me with your impressions act. I also don't know. I think this is too much effort because you're not going to be able to hear the music, I don't think,
Kelly, send me the link and I'll include it in the movie.
can put it
or
in
the
post.
podcast. In
for the
movie.
music. All right, let's do it. Let's let it rip. And a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Take me out of this podcast. Take me off of this mic. Reviewing these movies is killing me. How is this part of my identity? So it spoofs and goofs on my TV. White male writers give me pain. If my wife walks in while I'm watching, I feel ashamed.
Yeah. Watch spoof.
There you go. There you go.
That was
That's-
great.
That's it.
The build up was perfect.
The build up
That was
was
great.
no.
It felt like when like your friends' kids have to like put on a show for you.
True. That's how it felt for me too. It sucked. I hated
Wait,
it.
it's not
so
ready.
much.
It's not ready. Well, hold on. We're not ready yet. We're coming back. Okay.
Oh no.
The show will start in
It's
4
so
minutes.
accurate.
That was great.
First time I've done a song this month where I really did not talk about the song at all.
You told it's from Tin Pan Alley. We discussed the
you gave us-
lyrics.
Yeah, we talked about it a little
Yeah,
bit.
you gave us some facts.
Go to a baseball game. I miss baseball games.
Yeah, Kelly, don't tell people to go to baseball games. Eh?
Oh yeah, I forgot to bring up the fact that I'm doing it not because it's the 57th inning stretch, but because the World Series is happening this week. So I don't know who's playing. If the Astros are in it, cheer against them. Otherwise, cheer for whoever you want. Have a good time.
The New York Yankees.
Have some peanuts. Have some Cracky Jacks.
Yeah.
Take your toy. Give it to your wife.
Yeah.
Cool.
Consider whether it's important to you to get back. Decide it's not.
Root, toot, and toot.
Mm-hmm. Only for the home team. If you're ever from
Yeah,
out
for
of
the home
towner,
team,
eat
of
shit and
course.
die.
If they don't win, oh my God,
Yeah.
what a shame.
Yeah. Because why? Tell me why. But do it in a metaphorical sort of like loosey-goosey kind of way.
Well, you know why it's a shame? It's because it's 1, 2, 3 strikes. You're out. Oh, I kept you on the edge of your seat. What is it? The young? No. The old ball game.
Yeah. Now
Thanks
I feel
for
like
your
I'm the
gestures,
kid
Marty.
and
That's how this whole show is. We're all kids,
yeah.
but instead of prepping it, we just go, yeah, we're ready. We're ready, Dad.
Mhm.
We're ready, Dad.
It's true.
That's like me last episode with that.
You're on your second
whodunits.
blue moon. I mean, I
ready.
did spend a good 10 minutes writing my good 57
great.
podcast episode stretch.
That's why you were so ready for that rhyming challenge last episode.
This is why I don't remember a lot from Abbott and Costello.
Consueco.
I can't even remember their names. Oh my God. Marty, can you end my misery again? Do you have a novelty product? It's not ready yet. It's not ready yet.
It's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. Give me a second. This week's novelty product is a wall ornament of a cartoon popcorn emulating the famous "Let's all go to the lobby" pre-movie commercial ad.
Wow, such a glow up the movie poster has had.
This week's product also constitutes a novelty song, as "Let's All Go to the Lobby" was
Okay.
a 1957.
Fuck off.
Yeah, this is kind of rude.
is very rude.
I'm stepping on Kelly's feet
Oh
this
my
week. His
God.
dirty little feet. I'm gonna step on them. This is a 1957 animated advertisement consisting of 6 shots, most memorably depicting 4 animated food items. From left to right, they were the candy bar, popcorn, candy, and soft drink. They were all singing "Let's All Go to the Lobby" in the same tune as "The Bear Went Over the Mountain" for "He's a Jolly Good Fellow," stuff like that. This was the most famous concession stand advertisement ever. It's been riffed on, redone, and it even found its way into preservation at the National Film Registry at the Library of Congress. So the novelty product is a little kind of metallic wall ornament that I have of depicting the popcorn. I actually have a popcorn, hot dog, and soda. The soda is nailed to the wall right now, so I chose the popcorn. This week's quiz, and we are doing a quiz, gentlemen. We're going to test your knowledge / teach our audience a little bit about what you might find in your theater's concession stand. So question number 1. And we're going to go whoever gets closest on this first question. What year was popcorn invented?
Kelly,
Kelly.
who cares? Fucking loser.
Whoa. I'm going to say ding, 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 2500 BC.
Ooh. You know what? It was 3600 BC. Scott's going to get it because fuck you, Kelly. Scott gets it. 3600 BC was the first remnants of popcorn were discovered. Question number 2. In 2014, the original Sour Patch Kids bagged candy, the original just classic Sour Patch Kids, they added a new flavor, a blue-colored berry flavor. Before that, though, what were the other flavors in the bag? There were 4 flavors, and we can go one at a time.
Kelly just rolled his eyes again.
No, I was thinking.
He's thinking. That was his thinking face.
Is this Sour Patch Kids?
Yes, original bag.
Lemon.
Kelly gets the first one. There was lemon.
Lime.
Scott gets the second one.
Orange.
Kelly gets the third one. Scott, can
Now,
you get the
okay,
last
if I
one?
say a color, does that count?
Color is acceptable.
This is
Green.
bullshit.
It's green then. Green.
Oh.
Wait, I already said lime. Shit. Fuck.
Ooh,
Red.
I have to say
Red.
It's red. It's red.
I have to take your
All
first
right,
answer.
all right.
Kelly gets it. Kelly gets 3 points on that one.
Hey, but I
What
get
flavor
one,
is
right?
the red?
Which-
Is it
You got
cherry?
one. It was cherry, yes. Or red berry was what it was listed as also. I don't know why it was 2 different kinds of flavors. But
Well, back then
Cherries
they didn't
are
know
sort of
what
red berries
cherries
if you
were.
think about it.
They called them red berries.
3-2, Kelly leads. Number 3, how many flavors are there in Mr. Pibb?
Do you want me to ring in?
5.
Yeah, ring in, whoever wants to answer.
I just
Hey, Kelly,
Scott said 5.
my butt. Fuck you, Marty.
Scott gets it. It's 23.
Holy
What's
shit.
fun about that is
Is
it's
it the same as Dr. Pepper?
Dr. Pepper. Question number 4. Cotton candy is a favorite treat for the American crowd, but what is it referred to as in other countries?
Ooh.
Scott.
Do
ding,
I have
ding,
fun
ding.
or do I
something?
answer?
Something reference. It's cloud, like cloud something.
Scott.
Spun sugar.
Ooh, I mean, that is what it is technically, but what it is referred to as is candy floss or fairy
Candy
floss.
floss. Yeah.
Candy floss is
No,
what
no,
it's
no.
called in England.
All right. Break off, loser.
We're tied. We're tied 3-3 going into the final question. And for this one, it's a multiple part, and we're going to go one at a time for each one. So there's 5. Well, no, we're just going to go whoever wants to guess first. There's 5 things here. I have a list of Ben & Jerry's flavors. For each question, I'm going to give you, I think we've done this before on the podcast, actually, but I don't think I've done that. I think Scott did it the last time. For each question, I'm going to give you 1 real flavor and 1 fake flavor, and you're going to tell me which one the real one is. So whoever wants to ring in first can do it. For their Italian sweet treat, and this is a brand new flavor, by the way, is the real flavor the Irish Mint Man or simply cannoli?
Ring, cannoli.
Scott?
Take the cannoli.
Scott is correct. It is cannoli is the correct one. Number 2, is the real flavor cinnamon buns or Cinnabon Delight?
Huh. Scott, you want to guess at this one?
Nah, Kelly, I'm gonna let you walk into this trap.
I would guess cinnamon buns, but I think it's
Okay.
wrong.
Helly is correct. It is cinnamon buns. We are
Okay,
still
nice.
tied up. Cinnamon buns is the correct real one. Third, is the real flavor pumpkin cheesecake or pumpkin spice latte?
I'm gonna say cheesecake, Marty. I'm gonna say cheesecake.
Scott gets it. It is pumpkin cheesecake is the real flavor. Number 4, is the real flavor red, white, and blueberry or banana fudge?
Red, white, and blueberry. Final answer. Ring me in, Regis.
Kelly gets it. We are tied up going into the last one. And finally, is the real flavor comedians in pints eating ice cream?
Or the second
Or-
one, Scott. Buzz in the second one.
Shit.
That is a coffee flavored ice cream. Oh, I just got really lightheaded for some reason.
Yeah, because I answered with blazing speed.
Fuck. Or triple caramel chunk. That was the real one. Is triple.
Marty
caramel
wrote
chunk.
the comedians and pints line and then thought it was so funny he almost made himself pass out.
I forgot that was the last one. I almost made myself fucking faint because I thought comedians in pints eating ice cream was so.
That you
funny.
almost wilted like a
Oh.
Southern belle.
I almost died because, by the way, I'm in like a throne here. I've got my chair up on a platform. If I faint, I will fucking fall back and die. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Nah,
about
I think
it.
you'd like flump over like the Steward of Gondor, just like,
Just like-
the king on his throne.
Oh fuck! Scott wins the quiz on concession stand foods.
Quiz king, baby. You come for the king, you better not miss.
Yeah, I didn't really try too hard for a couple.
Yeah, Kelly,
questions.
you fucking just said like "fuck you" to me, basically.
I said my butt for one, and I said who cares for another one,
Hmm.
and I put
Kelly's
on my
kind of
sunglasses and
the-
my chair backwards.
He's like the quiz anti-hero.
That's true. He just comes in with cat. You know what he's like, Scott? He's like that Joker character from Gotham City.
I'm the bad boy. I'm the bad boy of spoof scoofs and novelty songs.
You're the bad boy?
Yeah, I'm the bad boy of spoof scoofs. What can I say?
And I'm like the angry manager.
Yeah.
Do your work.
And Marty's the Karen.
Wow. God. All right, that's gonna do it for us this week. Fuck you, Kelly.
Thanks for listening.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, who cares? I'm gonna go blow bubble gums.
Yeah. Marty's the Karen.
Kelly.
Marty's the Karen leaning in the car window. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Teach. Sorry, I didn't bring enough to share with everyone. Sorry.
Next week we're reviewing Sleepless in Seattle.
Again.
We're doing it again.
It's about fucking time.